To hear my entire thoughts on Halloween Ends, please check out my review video, which contains both spoiler-free and spoiler sections. This video will contain spoilers. I'm having trouble deciding what I think about Halloween Ends. I slept on it. I saw the film last night. That's when I uploaded my review of the film. And I am still very conflicted. Half of me appreciates the originality of the film and how it kind of subverted my expectations, gave me something fresh and different. But on the other hand, as a genuine Halloween fan, I feel let down. I feel like this wasn't the ending that was satisfying for this trilogy. A trilogy that I actually really enjoyed from David Gordon Green. Had this plot for Halloween Ends been in a different horror movie, maybe called Snapped or something, I probably would have liked it. But considering that this is a Halloween movie, it seems like it doesn't fit a part of this trilogy. Does that sound familiar to you? Maybe if you're a Halloween nut like me, Halloween 3 comes to mind. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, was a 1982 film that really had nothing to do with the other two Halloween movies before it. It is completely different. In fact, the original Halloween, John Carpenter's classic, plays on a television in Halloween 3. So it's very meta in what it's trying to convey to the audience, in that it's completely distinct from those other movies. After the first Halloween, which probably should have been the only one in hindsight, Halloween 2 follows the story of Michael and Laurie Strode, and at the end of the movie, Michael Myers dies. So at that point, the filmmakers decided, let's do something completely different. Tommy Lee Wallace took over as director, John Carpenter and Alan Howarth did the synth, and the rest is history. Halloween 3 is notoriously the black sheep of the franchise, and in the same way, I feel like Halloween Ends is the black sheep of at least this trilogy. I've seen a lot of people comparing it to Friday the 13th's 5 and 9, something I did in my review, in addition to Halloween 3, among other films, I suppose. I noticed some Freddy vs. Jason comparisons. I've seen all kinds of different reviews across my searches. But one of the most compelling things I've found is that this film is perhaps imitating what Halloween 3 did. Now, I should preface, I love Halloween 3. My October intro for this month is in celebration of its 40th anniversary. I really love the movie. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies, not just the Halloween franchise, but just in general movies I watch around the holiday. That being said, though, the movie at the time disappointed most audience members who were expecting Michael Myers. To be fair, the trailers and the promotional material do not indicate Myers' presence at all. However, Halloween Ends does. It promises this final confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And though we did get that at the end of the movie, the trailer somewhat even cheats out the fact that this new character, Corey Cunningham, takes center stage in this film. And I think had Corey been a part of this trilogy the whole time, maybe a friend of Allison's in the first movie, maybe the tragic accident happens in Kills, and then his shift occurs in this movie, fans would have been a little more forgiving. But this has led me to think that maybe this was intentional. Now, I know it's most likely the case that the filmmakers made this trilogy one movie at a time, like Star Wars, which is a terrible idea. Please plan your trilogies, Hollywood executives. But there's a little conspiracy nut in the back of my mind saying that this was planned out from the beginning. Notice in both Halloween 2018 and in Halloween Kills, there are references to the masks seen in Halloween 3. Even further, the posters for each of the movies, with Halloween 2018 being the classic Myers White, Michael Myers White, that's dirtied, of course. In Halloween Kills, we have the orange shade from the flames, and in Halloween Ends, because of the sewer, a green. Notice how the 3 posters even somewhat resemble the color schemes of those masks in Halloween 3. Coincidence? I don't know. I'm not sure. But it is interesting. It seems like the filmmakers obviously had an affection for Halloween 3. And even stranger, the opening credits in Halloween Ends, if you paid attention, I noticed this online through some forums and stuff, that apparently the same font from the opening of Halloween Ends is also in, you guessed it, Halloween 3. Even more so, the text is not orange, it's blue. Sounds familiar? I don't know what this all means. I don't know if this was intentionally trying to subvert the audience's expectations or piss them off, as Jamie Lee Curtis said. I'm not too sure. Perhaps you may be able to enlighten me in the comments down below. I really wanted to love Halloween Ends more than I did. I will be seeing it again, and perhaps my thoughts will change over time. I could easily see this being a cult classic in 10, 20, 30 years, just like Halloween 3 is today. But as of right now, I think it's left a lot of fans expecting a concluding chapter to this trilogy sore. What do you think? Leave a comment below. And remember, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
You still here? Okay, good. I want to talk about what I would have done if I had my grubby little hands on this franchise. Obviously, I don't. I don't think I would be given a multi-million-dollar horror franchise, but as a fan, I just like to imagine, fantasize, if you will. Here's the idea for this movie. Let's say that Halloween and Halloween Kills are in the books. They have 1 year to get this new movie out. What do you do? Here's a possibility. I think, for starters, we needed to see more of why Laurie Strode and Allison have changed so much as characters. Laurie Strode in the other 2 movies was very aggressive. She was so bitter when it came to Michael Myers. She was bent on this one night for 40 years. And I think that that was just lifted from Halloween Ends entirely. Maybe to the approval of a lot of audiences who hated Halloween Kills and how it kind of beat the dead horse. However, it just didn't fit the character, at least how they're presenting it in this trilogy. I liked Laurie's presentation in Halloween Ends overall, but it didn't seem like the same person. What I would have done is elaborate on those years as Laurie and Allison change. After the death of Allison's mother, Laurie's daughter, in the events of Halloween Kills, I really think that we should have seen their reactions to this, seen why Myers disappeared, and what happened to him, why he chose to flee. Because here's the thing, let me pause on my one tangent and address this. In Halloween Kills, Laurie says something to the effect of, the more he kills, the more he transcends.
Michael Myers was flesh and blood, just like you and me. The more he kills, the more he transcends into something else impossible to defeat.
I don't really like when they try to give Myers like a full fleshed out backstory or motivation or what have you, but okay, that's what they're going with. And you notice in Ends, he's like this old man in the sewer, and then he stabs that guy and then like upgrades, which was really odd, but okay, fine. That's their logic, as long as they go with their own logic. But here's the thing. Why does he stop killing people in Halloween Kills? He kills a lot of people in Halloween Kills and then is beat, like, to death by an angry mob. And this is when Laurie says the more he kills, the more he transcends. He stands up and kills off this entire mob, including Tommy Doyle. Why does he suddenly go into hiding? Wouldn't he want to just keep killing more people to get more OP, to get more invincible? Why does he just go in the sewer for 4 years? Is he just a child in his head? Is that what they're going with? I'm not sure. Anyways, let's move back to the other characters. But that's my issue with Myers' progression here. In terms of these characters, I feel like Allison should have had some kind of vendetta or grudge against Myers, the same way that Laurie did for the last 40 years. And Laurie, being the more mature adult now, sees how this is changing her granddaughter, and she softens her heart and tries to offer lessons of forgiveness and moving on to her granddaughter, and in the same way preaching to herself. I feel like that relationship would have been a much stronger character progression that could have been taking place throughout Halloween Ends. And then you have this love interest between Laurie and the sheriff, which really doesn't go anywhere in Halloween Ends. I wish that maybe Myers kills this sheriff character, and that really sets off Laurie again, and now it's up for Allison and Laurie to take him down together and kind of end this grieving process that they've had for this long with their friends and family and loved ones dying. There was something there that could have been really special, but instead, the focus completely shifts to Corey's character. Now, had the Corey thing been in just another Halloween movie, I think I would have been a little more receptive to it. But because this was the final movie, I know it's not going to be the final Michael Myers movie. They make too much money. They'll make another one in 5 years. But for this trilogy and these filmmakers and Laurie Strode as the character, Jamie Lee Curtis, to have the focus shifted from her and Michael, which is presented in the trailers, to this new character seems like a bait and switch. It seems like we were cheated. And that's my problem. I don't like that. Halloween 3 presents itself as it is. It's wonky, it's weird, there's a Silver Shamrock Company, but that's all in the promotional material. And this movie hides a lot of the stuff. Yeah, those are my bonus thoughts. Thanks for watching. For all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.